Are you guys tired of constantly carrying games everywhere you go? I am. Let's fix that. Hey guys, Editor Ghost. Just wanted to go through a quick little disclaimer. I will not be showing you how to download anything that you do not own. I'm sure there are plenty of resources out there that'll show it to you. I'm not going to be one of them. That's piracy. It's illegal. And we don't condone it any way, shape, or form. Remember, because this is a jailbreak and everything else, you are doing this at your own risk. I nor anybody on the channel will or can be held responsible if you brick your console or anything like that. Nintendo can and still will ban you. So take that into consideration. Do this at your own risk and enjoy. So you guys have asked for it numerous times. I'm going to show you how you can back up the games that you own and install them as digital copies on your Switch. Now, keep in mind, you do have to have a jailbroken Switch, which I've got a video up that'll teach you how to do that. And I've noticed, it's going to sound a little weird, 99% of you guys are not subbed. So if you find this enjoyable or it actually helps you out and you take something away from it, it's free to do. If you guys don't mind going down and hitting that subscribe button, I'd greatly appreciate it, and give the video a thumbs up. And also another thing, in case you guys don't follow me on Twitter or Instagram, Twitch, every other platform, we have officially released the two newest flavors of Juju. We've got a sour gummy worm and a seasonal pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice not gonna be around for too much longer. So if you do want to get anything from Juju, such as new flavors, you want to get one of the new metal shakers or anything like that, use code GHOST at checkout for 10% off your entire cart. And I don't have too much left. All right, so we got our trusty Switch. We've got the game that we want to dump already inside. In this instance, we're going to use Adventure Time. So we're going to go ahead and head on over and launch our little homebrew library. And we're going to come over here to where it says NX Dump Tool. Now, if you followed the previous video and you got everything set up doing that, you should already have this. If not, then you just go into the Homebrew App Store, search it, and download it from there. So go ahead, we'll launch our NX Dump Tool, and I'll try to get it to where you guys can see everything that's going on. The issue with reflective screens is it kind of makes it hard for stuff like cell phones to really focus on. So we want to come right here where it says dump game card content, select it with A. Okay, so we've got the game card itself, which it comes up, tells us what the title ID is, how much space it's going to take, everything. And we can do it as either an XCI dump or a NSP dump. And that's going to be one of the things is you guys are going to run into different options of games where some are going to be XCI, some are going to be NSP. They're both essentially the same thing. You'll both be able to install either file. It won't matter. So with this one, I'm just going to go with an XCI dump. So I'm just going to hit A on that. And right here, it's going to ask you if you want to split the output dump for FAT32. If your SD card is FAT32 and not exFAT, mine happens to be exFAT, but FAT32 does not support files that are over 4 gigs. So if that is left as yes, essentially what it's going to do is it's going to take the game and it's going to cut it up into segments that are less than 4 gigs. The trim output dump, keeping the certificate I'm not really worried about, but trimming output dump is essentially going in and kind of removing some unnecessary files that you don't really need, unnecessary data and things like that. It's not really anything to worry about. You don't really need to mess with any other settings. So basically the only thing that you should worry about at this screen is splitting the output dump. You only do that if you're at FAT32. And trimming the output dump, this is a yes or no. You can do it if you want, don't if you don't want to. And then you just hit start and let it run through and do its thing. At this point, I'm pretty much just gonna kind of set it down. All right, so there we go. We're 100% done. At this point, we can just press any button to continue. We'll keep hitting B, B, and at this point, we just hit the plus to exit. And we are back at the home screen. So at this point, I am going to go ahead and remove the game cart. And we are going to go ahead and power down, pull the SD card out, and I will see you guys over on the PC side. All right, guys, so we're back over here at the PC side, and there's only a couple of things that you need, and they're super easy to get a hold of. You literally just go to tinfoil.io, come over here, click on downloads, and Tinfoil is going to be the program that we use to install our NSP and our XCI files. You can just come right here where it says download Tinfoil 13.0 NRO self-installer. Click on that, it'll start installing, and then we're also going to need a different payload that we're going to inject. If you watch the previous video, we used Hecate. This time, we're not doing that. We're using the Fussee primary payload, and that's going to be the one that essentially we'll use going forward. So you would just click on the, sorry guys, in case you missed it, this is the sdsetup.com website. Click on the switch, scroll down where it says payloads, and you have the option of 2 different loaders. We only want the Fussee primary one. And then you would click download your zip and wait for it to download. It should take absolutely no time whatsoever. So we'll go ahead. I'm gonna put both of these right here on the desktop. We can close that out. And that's silly me. Go ahead and take this and extract it to your desktop. I've got it over here on the other screen. And essentially, you're going to do the same thing with the tinfoil one. So now that we've got that taken care of, we can actually get these out of the way. I don't have my keyboard on my desk at the moment. It's behind me, so I've got to do things the long way. But what we're going to do is we're going to take our Switch micro SD card, make sure it's plugged in, and right here we're going to open up the Switch folder that came with tinfoil. So we've got a tinfoil folder right here, and on the micro SD card for our Switch, we also have a Switch folder. So we're just going to go into it and copy and paste the tinfoil folder over into the Switch folder. So you should have this nice tinfoil folder here. Now the game that we had just dumped, what we want to do is grab it from here. So looking at the root of the SD card, click on your Switch folder, go to the NX dump tool, double click on it, go right here where it says XCI, and that's the game that we just dumped. At this point, you can leave it here, but for me, I definitely don't want to. So I'm just going to move it to Switch and then the root of the SD card. So if you have games backed up on your PC, you just drag and drop them into your Switch SD card right here on the root. And that's basically it. At this point, we're going to eject the SD card out, inject the Fussee payload, and then I'll show you guys everything else on the Switch side. So I'll see you in a little bit. So, all right, guys, we're back over at our Switch. We've put our RCM jig in, injected the Fussee primary payload, and that's the thing. if you don't remember how to inject the payload, we did it about 19 times. I mean, that's a bit of an exaggeration. We did it quite a bit in the last video. So rewatch the original jailbreak video and come back, and that essentially shows you how we're injecting all of the payloads, the .bin files, everything. So at this point, we're going to go back into our homebrew library, and you should have, all the way at the end, you should have the Tinfoil Installer. So you just go ahead and hit A on that to launch it. It's going to run through, check for some updates, everything else, refresh, and at this point, you may or may not get an error. You just hit OK, and we'll have access to Tinfoil itself. Now, because this is a installer, it will actually install the app on your home screen. So you don't have to go into the homebrew app library or anything like that every single time. But what we want is we want to install our game. So we're going to come down here where it says file browser, and I'll try to get it to focus on the close up, or at least good enough to where you guys can see the small print. We'll hit A on file browser, scroll down to SDMC, which is our SD card. Hit A on that, and we're going to go down here where it says the Cartoon Network Adventure Time game. Now at this point, it's super simple. You hit A, pick your location. You can choose whether you want it to be on the NAND, which is the internal storage, or on your SD card. Include all the DLC in the latest update. This is also assuming that you had all of the DLC dumped and the latest update dumped. If not, there's plenty of online avenues that you're more than willing to take. I'm not gonna show you how to do it, simply because installing DLC that you do not own is piracy, and don't condone it at all. This is simply just a way for you to back up the games that you do own. So at this point, just yes and yes, and then we'll hit install. Sit back, wait for this, and it shouldn't take very long. It usually doesn't. It varies on how fast your SD card is, how big the game is, and whether or not your Switch is wanting to work with you on that day. So I'll be right back the second this is done. All right, so right there at the end, the only thing that happened was it finished installing and then closed out. So we can come out of Tinfoil by just mashing B. It's going to ask, are we sure we want to quit? Yes. It'll shut it down. And now we have Adventure Time is playable, but there's no game cartridge in. So we'll go ahead and we'll boot. Now, if you do need an update, you would install updates the same way you install games. So get your update, add it onto your SD card, and then go back into Tinfoil, install it that way. So we're just going to hit start software, and I'm just going to hold this right here just so you guys can see. That's the game. Nothing's in. And we're playing away. So yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it helped out. Maybe you can consolidate your library a little bit and not have to carry around so many games. I mean, granted, they're little game cards, but still, if you're carrying around 10 plus of them, it kind of gets a little aggravating. And especially having to switch between them. Now it's a simple hit the home screen or home button, go back to the home screen, and switch games. So if you guys enjoyed this, if it helped out, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll work on trying to put out more stuff that you can do with a jailbroken Switch, as well as jailbreaking other consoles. I do have the Switch up. I've got the PS3 up. Working on the old Wii U, and everything else. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, get yourself some juju at jujuenergy.com. Use code GHOST for 10% off, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourself, be kind, and have a wonderful day, everybody. Later.